General Mkhwanazi is facing litigation based on his conduct to unlawfully act on the instructions of the Minister of Police. And what's the relevance of all this, you might ask? Well, his complaint on the 6th of July last year had two legs to it. One was criminal interference or penetration of the police, and the second leg was the executive overreach, the ministerial interference in the management of the police, which is exactly what happened in 2012, and he was a party to it, and not only was he a party to it, he helped cover it up for the better part of 8 years. And only in 2020 does he come out of it.
Yes. Mr. O'Sullivan, I'm just trying to understand the import of your evidence. Are you saying, because of what you describe as his past conduct, are you saying he should not have spoken up in July, he should not have complained about political interference?
Commissioner, what I'm saying is, you can't change history. He did what he did.
Yes.
But what he didn't do when it came to this commission, he didn't take the commission into his confidence and say, by the way, although I'm speaking out about it now, I just want to inform you that 14 years ago, I was engaged in just the same activity.
So is the criticism, I'm trying to understand, as I say, the import, what are we to do with this evidence that you obviously consider to be important to mention? Are you saying because according to you, he was complicit, and at this point I'm not dealing with whether or not what you're saying he did previously is correct. I'm asking if you're criticizing, as I understand, and please correct me, if I understand you to be criticizing him for, on the 6th of July, mentioning or complaining about overreach, political overreach or political interference. I understand you to be criticizing him for that. And I'm trying to understand, are you saying, with that criticism, are you saying he should not have spoken as he did about this aspect of things? This second, you say there are two legs to it.
Well, it's hard to come to a informed answer there, other than to say that was I not to produce this evidence here now, this commission would be completely unaware of the fact that the conduct he's now complaining of was exactly the conduct that he was involved in some years back. And if you're going to be a whistleblower, as he claims to be, you should be a whistleblower with clean hands.
Yeah, exactly my confusion. That's why I'm asking you this question, exactly my confusion. Are you saying he is not a clean whistleblower, according to you, because he previously colluded in similar conduct? Therefore, he should not have spoken up. Is that the heart of what you're saying? And maybe let me suggest to you that I ask the question because it's quite conceivable that someone thinks about it this way. The man had a Damascus moment. He previously colluded, according to you, and then come July 2025, he decides not anymore, and he changes his mind. I'm asking from that perspective, are you saying he should have kept quiet forever? Yeah. Or the other possibilities you're saying, well, because he's got this past conduct, we should disregard his complaint of 2025 and disregard it to the end that he's talking. Sorry, I can't think of a better word. Just talking nonsense. There was no political interference in 2025. Is that the point you're making?
So my understanding, Commissioner, and you might have to interrogate me a bit further, but my understanding is quite simply this. If you're going to have a Damascus moment, put that down in writing. Say, look here, by the way, I'm speaking out now because I saw what happened all these years ago. And I was involved. But he didn't do that. He's kept quiet.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think it would have been better, rather than speak out at a media conference, to take action without drawing down the public confidence in the criminal justice system, because it's been shattering what's happened in the criminal justice system.
Okay, I guess I've asked my question and you've answered the way you did. I'll accept that's your best answer. The second issue about it, you've referred us to these judgments. And let's start with at 437, page 437, which is Makhoba J's judgment. Are you saying by not, because remember you've highlighted the part and you've read out where the judge says in his answering affidavit.
Sorry, ma'am, if I can just ask the paragraph number?
Looking at page 437.
Yeah, 437.
And then I'm looking, you referred to paragraph 211.
Uh-huh.
And you read there where the judge says, Mkhwanazi had not disputed, maybe let me start at the beginning. It says, in paragraph 14 of his judgment, Mokhoba J, well, I think this is the SCA judgment, in fact, you're referring to. Mokhoba J expressed concern about the allegations of political interference in the disciplinary process and noted that Mkhwanazi had not disputed them in his answering affidavit. What are you saying there about the conduct of General Mkhwanazi?
What I'm saying here, Commissioner, is it's not me saying it, it's the High Court. And it's a scathing judgment against, this is what's referred to as the Murphy judgment. And it's a scathing judgment against the police.
Yes.
And against, in particular, General Pieka and General Mkhwanazi, against both of them. And this judgment hasn't seen the light of day for probably 10 years or more.
Yes. I'm asking the simple question because, you know, another construction, and I think in our practice that is accepted, is if you do not answer to a specific allegation, you have admitted it. So when I read 211, I would have concluded, until you spoke, I would have concluded, well, it means he didn't dispute it. He didn't dispute that there was political interference. But you seem to be reading that paragraph or to be attaching a meaning to it, that he basically was part of the cover-up, unless by not responding or not denying the allegation of ministerial interference, he therefore covered up, unless I misunderstand you, Mr. O'Sullivan?
Commissioner, you have to look at all the bits that I've highlighted and take them together. But if I go to page 438.
Yes.
Paragraph 215, 216, and 217, and 218.
Yes.
This is scathing. It says, Mkhwanazi dropped the disciplinary charges on orders from above is furthermore borne out by the Rule 53 record filed on his behalf. The record he supplied comprises nothing more than 2 letters addressed to Mkhwanazi, one notifying him of the withdrawal of the disciplinary charges against him and the other advising him of his reinstatement to work. It doesn't say to work. There is no charge sheet or correspondence dealing with blah, 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 and it goes on. And then 216, it says, the inescapable finding is that the decision of the acting commissioner to withdraw the disciplinary charges and to reinstate Mkhwanazi as head of crime intelligence were taken in an attitude of subservience pursuant to an unlawful dictation from a person unknown.
Yes.
Who was beyond the acting commissioner. By the way, at this stage, nobody would admit who it was that gave him the instruction. That only came 8 years later. Yes. He says, an abdication of power violates the principle that the responsibility for discretionary power rests with the authorised body and no one else. And yes. It goes on to say at 218, to ensure the proper functioning of the SAPS, the Commissioner, in discharging his obligations under Section 11 of the SAPS Act, must protect and give effect to SAPS discipline regulations. It's a scathing judgment. And the failure, it's not the judgment that's more important, Commissioners. What's more important to the people of this country is that this has been kept hidden. It's been kept under wraps. It should have been part of the evidence. He said, by the way, the reason I did what I did on the 6th of July is because 14 years ago, I was involved in exactly the same state of affairs, and I went along with it and covered it up for 8 years.
I guess, Mr. O'Sullivan, my question is, what difference does it make? Remember, we consider our terms of reference. I don't know that we can take it any further, but really my question is, even if you are correct in your position that when he testified here, he should have confessed his previous sin of covering up, as you say.
Yes.
I'm still left with the question, okay, what difference does it make to, he has spoken up. We are investigating exactly that as a commission, whether indeed there's been political interference. does it really make a difference that, and if so, what difference does it make to how we deal with that allegation of his, that when he sat there and testified, he didn't testify to his previous crime of colluding in the similar decision-making that he's now complaining about?
Well, except, Commissioner, it's my evidence that not only was he previously involved in that conduct, but for 8 years, he covered it up. For 8 whole years. And it only came out when he made his statement at the Zondo Commission. And when he made his statement at the Zondo Commission, he did not go into the nitty-gritty of what actually took place. He gave a version of events, and I obviously have no first-hand knowledge as to whether or not the then Minister of Police in 2024 or 2025 did engage in executive overreach. I have no knowledge of that. It's not something I've been involved in. But if a person is going to become a whistleblower, surely that whistleblower is going to say, by the way, the reason I'm whistleblowing is because I was involved in this conduct 14 years ago and I saw the effect of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.